We come on the air right now at 11 o'clock with another damp and chilly night out there, but we are also looking ahead to tomorrow for you as we're now calling it a weather impact alert day because of heavy rain expected for a lot of tomorrow. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on the night team. I'm Doug Prophet. WHAS11 meteorologist Austin Evans is here with me in the studio tonight. He's filling in for Mallory. And Austin, is this weather going to be severe tomorrow?
No, we're not looking at anything severe outside the potential for some flooding risk, and I'll go into those details coming up in my full 7-day forecast. Right now, other than it being dreary, we don't have anything to worry about, not even really any rain here in Kentuckiana. But taking a look at what is now dealing with those dreary conditions, what's new, tracking that widespread rain for your Friday, and next we are looking at rain to begin your Thanksgiving week. Here's a look at our 4-box Trimark camera. Everything moving relatively smoothly, though if you are traveling, the roads are wet, and it is a pretty chilly night, at least for now. We're in the upper 40s and lower 50s here in the metro area. Doug?
Austin, thank you. Now to today's late-breaking news. JCPS will close 3 schools and sell off 2 of them to raise money in the face of the dire financial situation. They also plan to consolidate and relocate other schools and students. WHAS 11 Night Team's Clarice Shaley has more on what we know ahead of a news conference with the superintendent tomorrow morning.
Zachary Taylor Elementary in the east, Liberty High School in the south, and King Elementary in the west all are on the chopping block to be closed as a part of a school district effort to raise money.
And in some cases, they will lobby the individual school board members to express their opinion.
The JCPS deficit of $188 million has forced the recommendation by Dr. Brian Yearwood. Dr. Yearwood recommends closing 3 schools and selling 2 of them. Liberty High School off Gilmore Lane is on that list. The building opened in 1972, but the property won't be sold. The school district says the programs offered at Liberty are offered across the district, making the standalone model, quote, no longer necessary. Zachary Taylor Elementary School opened in 1959 at Westport Road and Hurstbourne Parkway. Sam Corbett calls it high-value real estate.
Zachary Taylor sits on the corner in a very high-traffic, high-profile location that I would suggest has a pretty good resale value.
The school sits across from Tom Sawyer State Park and is surrounded by businesses. JCPS says it's only 49% full. King Elementary across from Shawnee Park is also set to close and be sold. This school opened in 1969 and is at 70% capacity.
I'm sure there's going to be some pushback. I mean, based on people that have been there, they love the school. It's a community staple.
JCPS board member Taylor Everett says he'll consider the recommendation from Yearwood.
What I've been hearing from the community since I've been on the board is like they want things like this. They want to see us be more efficient with tax dollars.
With closings and consolidations of schools, Corbett says it can't stop there.
I don't see any way they can cut those kinds of dollars without, unfortunately, letting people go. And in some cases, they could be ending programs. And that's really tough.
It's change that's sure to bring opposition. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Yearwood will be taking questions at 10:30 tomorrow morning. You can watch it live on WHAS 11 Plus, download our free app, and also on our website, WHAS11.com. The proposals to close and sell the schools are expected to be presented to the school board for a final vote coming up pretty soon at the December 9th school board meeting. JCPS is asking families and staff for feedback to their proposal. You can do so by attending the following community forums or submit written comments through the form there that you can find in the links mentioned tab right on our website, WHAS11.com. Now, the 3 forums will be next month, December 1st through the 3rd, all starting at 5 p.m. and ending at 6 p.m. For more information on the location of these forums, you can visit our website. Just click the story on our home page. Happening at 7 o'clock tonight, the moment of remembrance. Louisville coming together in a big way inside Whitney Hall downtown, hearing the names read of each of the 14 victims from the UPS plane crash. The Louisville Orchestra holding this special tribute concert at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts. The orchestra and Metro government wanted one place for our city to grieve and reflect with one another. WHS 11 Night Team's Jose Alonso was there talking to people from across our community. And Jose, you just got the number of people who showed up. How big was the crowd?
Doug, around 1,200 people were in attendance tonight. They were ready to feel the power of music and went into the free concert with vulnerability, from saying each victim's name aloud, honoring first responders, and receiving mental health support. This was a moment for those who still have heavy hearts from November 4th's UPS plane crash. Louisvillians locked into the power of live music.
Music is art, and art is therapy. So it's a form of expression, a form of release. You know, some people, I'm prepared to cry tonight, honestly.
I just believe that music has a way of uplifting someone that's feeling down, and it has a way of encouraging to keep moving towards God's purpose and God's vision.
A large crowd for a free concert of remembrance and healing at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts.
The orchestra has never failed to make me feel like a part of the community or give me a sense of oneness or wholeness. I'm just kind of hoping that it helps people with their grief.
It's a moment just 2 weeks and 2 days since the fatal UPS plane crash. It's left many with heavy hearts as they mourn the 14 victims who died.
We mourn with you. Your loss is our loss. It's the community's loss. It takes a toll on all of us.
But I'm praying for you. I can't say I know how you feel. I have lost family close to me. I've lost a brother, so I understand a sudden loss, but no one can understand what anyone else is going through at the time.
And there's so many of us that are in this community praying and believing that we can all get through this together.
The art of healing through live music is exactly what musical director of the orchestra, Teddy Abrams, had in mind.
One of the pieces that we're going to play is Barbara's Adagio for strings, which is maybe the most famous work played in a tragic situation.
Notes that bring heaviness into the soul, but also a glimmer of comfort. We spoke with Louisvillians from across the metro there, from Russell, Portland, Shively, Prestonia, and Fern Valley, all gathered in solidarity as we continue to think about the families who lost their loved ones. Reporting in studio with photojournalist Levi Hammer, I'm Jose Alonso, WHS 11 Night Team, on your side.
All right, so touching. Thank you, Jose. Prestonia, one of the airport neighborhoods. And now to the quick move by the NTSB today, the preliminary investigation, barely 2 weeks since the fatal crash, and they released their first findings, saying they found evidence of fatigue cracks and overstress failure in the left engine's pylon mount. Now the vivid images also showing the plane taking off. New images today, the NTSB preliminary report showing the left engine and the pylon connector separating from the plane first, even before the UPS jet has lifted upward. The engine then flies into the air above the jet. That's on the right of your screen. It's also on fire. Also today, we learned the aircraft never got higher than 30 feet in the air and did not climb above the air traffic control tower at Standiford, as it was seen just there passing over parked semi-trucks. And the jet's left landing gear, the report says, scraped right here, the rooftop of the UPS warehouse building as it was struggling in the air, and then it crashed. Last recorded in the air at 5:13 p.m. Tonight, we talked with WHAS 11's longtime aviation expert, Reed Yaden, and ABC News aviation contributor, Colonel Stephen Ganyard, both talking about the fatigue cracks on the left engine pylon mount.
The NTSB says there was fatigue evident. Okay, they're not saying when it showed up. I would think there was a lot of stress on that pylon when that engine started destroying itself. Something tore it loose. So which came first? What set the chain of events in motion?
This was an old airplane, and sometimes old airplanes break in very unexpected and catastrophic ways. This airplane was due for an inspection that would have found these cracks, but not for several years. And so the FAA needs to go back and see, is our inspection interval sufficient? Obviously not in this case, and they will need to have these airplanes inspected on a much more regular basis.
Steve Gagnon there with ABC News. Now, it's important to note these pictures cover less than 2 seconds. As you can see here, the striking distance between the first picture and the very last picture. More of our top stories right now, News Since 6. We have new details after a vehicle caught fire at Suburban Towing just before 5 o'clock this evening. Suburban Towing is off of Industrial Boulevard. We were able to capture this image on Trimark just before 5 p.m. You can see the smoke right in the sky, and this is from I-65 and the Gene Snyder Freeway. It's confirmed that one car did catch fire. No injuries are reported, and the situation was quickly under control. Also new tonight, he will stay in prison. The admitted child killer who had been released early because of Kentucky law has become so controversial. The Kentucky Parole Board has now ordered that Ron Exantis remain incarcerated. Exantis admitted to killing 6-year-old Logan Tipton in Versailles, Kentucky in 2015 randomly, but a jury found him not guilty by reason of insanity. A judge sentenced Exantis to 20 years for assaulting Logan's sisters and father, but he was recently released on mandatory reentry supervision Kentucky law. Police in Florida then arrested him not long afterwards after he moved there because he failed to register as a felon. The parole board in Kentucky conducted a review on Exantis and revoked his mandatory reentry supervision, ordering him to remain in prison for the remainder of his sentence. He is being held at the Kentucky State Reformatory in LaGrange of Oldham County. Happening late today, homegrown small businesses in Kentucky are getting a major boost from Louisville-based GE Appliances. Our Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Jessica Farley have the story from Appliance Park.
Governor Andy Beshear believes this kind of move by GE Appliances is the rising tide that'll lift all boats for businesses, including Jones Plastic, which is based here in Louisville. And the company, specifically GE Appliances, says they're going to involve those businesses earlier on in the manufacturing process. Much of the plastic that goes into these washing machines produced inside Louisville's Appliance Park comes directly from a homegrown company whose world headquarters is in Jeffersontown's Industrial Park.
Once these products end up going through their production process, they'll get loaded on a truck, go right up to Louisville, and they could get used within a few days of arriving in Louisville.
Jones Plastic, founded in 1961 by Louisville natives Harry and Larry Jones, is now getting a brand new contract from GE Appliances as the Louisville-based company works to solidify its suppliers close to home.
Now, a contract from a company like GE Appliances gives you the security to potentially invest more. You know the demand is going to be there. You know that it's not something that could be canceled next week or next month.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear applauding a $40 million investment by GE Appliances to 4 different plastic molding facilities across Kentucky, including the Jones Plastic location in Williamsburg in the southeastern part of the state. Lee Lago Marchino, GE Appliances Vice President for Closed Care.
This was a no-brainer to really pull Jones in early into the process and be really transparent about the work that we had to take on.
The announcement comes as GE Appliances doubles down on its American and Kentucky footprint.
Getting the supplier in ahead of time, they're able to give us their expertise on how to make the part more efficiently in their factory, which also then helps drive costs down.
Shortly after Donald Trump's tariffs were announced, the company this summer said it was pouring nearly $500 million into Louisville's Appliance Park to make a new line of washing machines here instead of China. But the president's trade policies, I'm sure, expedited some of those decisions.
Things like that certainly accelerate that.
It'll mean a complete remodel of assembly lines in one of the buildings at Appliance Park and 800 new jobs here in Louisville. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
The investment from GE Appliances today totals $150 million to businesses across 10 states in the South, Midwest, and California. Well, President Donald Trump signed the Epstein Files bill last night, but the focus now shifts to the timeline of the release of the documents. That's next here on The Night Team.
Here's a look at Kentucky Lottery jackpot numbers. Mega Millions sitting at $60 million right now. Powerball, $629 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.